So here in our test video of the Sony Xperia 1 Mark V and in HDR HLG using seamless zoom 4K 30 frames per second with the sun in the background. How well does this expose and how well does this HDR look like? I will just straight upload it to YouTube with also using the internal microphone, the voice optimized microphone here on the back with wind filter on. There's a bit of a breeze going on, but not too harsh. And also we have like 27-28 degree here right now, so this is also a little bit of an overheating test as well. So what do you think about this one, the Xperia 1 Mark V HDR HLG? And yeah, what we want to do is also perform some zoom option and a zoom test. So let's go and zoom in. You can see here the Rhine very nicely, and yeah, let's zoom on something. You can see my dog there is walked by someone, and let's zoom in here to 85 millimeters. And yeah, how well does this look like in HDR HLG? And now 125 millimeters, and we can zoom in even further if we want to 375 millimeters and back to 85. So what do you think about the zoom lens here on the Xperia 1 Mark V HDR HLG? And probably you won't hear me so well because voice optimized microphone, and I'm just putting it on the other side so you don't hear myself, so you don't hear me so well with the microphone facing towards the river instead of me. So what do you think about this Sony Xperia 1 Mark V sample here? Can also try to switch to the ultra wide angle. Hopefully it is doing it. And yeah, you see the ultra wide angle here right now on the Sony Xperia 1 Mark V is a bit of, like you can see, uneven ground here. This is why it's also I think a little bit of a challenge for the stabilization to work here. For the ultra wide angle maybe not so much, for the one-time zoom probably a little bit more, because it's like quite a bit of shaky. I see my hand shaking a lot here, and yeah, maybe I can get it a bit more stable by not walking on those stones. So what do you think about the Xperia 1 Mark V here? HDR HLG recording, sound recording, just a little test so that I can bring out another video, because there's some other videos in the pipeline. Xperia 1 Mark V against some other phones as well that I will test out, but also some Xiaomi 13 Pro tests, Xiaomi 13 Ultra tests actually, because this is alone, I has to go back at one point as well. And yeah, then the Huawei P60 Pro, I think I tested thoroughly, and yeah, I plan to send it back this month, so there will be probably no more tests coming against this. Maybe I will test it against the Xperia. I'm not so sure if I manage to do this. Otherwise, yeah, this is basically the Xperia 1 Mark V HDR HLG, and this is basically everything for the Huawei P60 Pro when it comes to testing out against other phones. And yeah, it is currently, I'm working on a little ranking system, you know, DxO mark, and I'm working on LL mark or something like this. So my own ranking system for smartphones. Let's go back to one time. We can barely see it on the screen. There we go. One time. So yeah, I'm working on my own marking system somehow. It's still a work in progress. I'm currently thinking about a 5-star rating system. So I have various different categories, and I will rate each smartphone within these categories 1 to 5 stars. 5 stars would be perfect, and I can, spoiler alert, tell you no smartphone will reach 5 stars. At least none reached 5 stars so far. But there are some 4.8 ratings, which mean, yes, I also have a point system. So there's not a 4-star rating or 4.5-star rating. There will be also 4.8, 4.75, 4.35 and so on kind of rating. It's a very simple rating system right now, but it's working so far. And spoiler alert, the P60 Pro is currently number 1, followed up by the, I think, Xiaomi 13 Ultra. I'm not completely mistaken, with 0.01 I think difference, and then the Honor Magic 5 Pro as well with also 0.01 difference there. yeah, and at one point I will release this probably as a website or something like this. Very easy to click around and so on. But currently I'm just collecting the points and writing down the numbers and so on. And some cameras I have to retest, like the Oppo Find X6 Pro with its new 4K 30 frames per second on the front-facing camera, such things. So yeah, this is something that I have to redo and so on. Yeah, so that's basically it. Now we are recording 5 minutes, something like this. Cannot see it. I think it's 5 minutes 30. No overheating signs so far. I don't see any overheating signs, so I think it's... Oh, I have to duck here to go around. Timmy, nah. So my dog is also here, as you can see. Yeah. So yeah, at one point I will release this ranking system, probably not as big as the XO Mark, but at least we have a ranking system. And then some people who are like always complaining about a certain issue and why I ranking one phone better than the other can then check out why that is the case based upon some categories that I put in there. I'm not sure if I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So some categories will include multiple things, like the last category I think is called additional features or something like this. This will include haptics, for example, like the Sony Xperia devices with their excellent shutter button and micro SD card extension, microphone that you can put in directly here because of a 3.5mm headphone jack, such things. This will be ranked very high in this regard. Others may be a little bit lower because they don't have such features. So yeah, I'm still working on this. If you have some suggestions, you can write them down in the comment section. I will see what I can just put in there, or if I can give you some feedback around this suggestion, or I can incorporate it into my ranking system as well. So that's it for this short little video. Write down in the comment section what you think about the Sony Xperia 1 Mark V so far. I think it's a very solid device, no overheating issues. I like its color science, I like acinetone. Some people were complaining that 1 Mark IV looked better in terms of video. I'm not so sure. I like the acinetone a little bit better there. And yeah, what do you think? Write down in the comment section. This is the HLG version HDR on the Sony Xperia 1 Mark V. And until the next time.